how crazy that is! We just got 1 million damage on the Dark Mage! There is a brand new unit in Anime Expeditions which is completely busted. We actually already nerfed this guy and oh my goodness, look at that. We hit 1.1 million damage without even another item. I completely forgot. I'm pretty up. I left it alone. I was supposed to have this, so look at that. We hit 1.1 million even without another item, which is completely crazy. We're going to be doing a showcase, of course. But as I was saying, the game actually decided to nerf him already, but they did revert the nerf. It makes no sense why they'd actually touch this guy because their mods themselves actually showed us how to use Dark Mage. For my build, I have the Dark Scepter over here. We don't have Mythic on the range, which is quite unfortunate. We have 17% damage from the Magic Book. And then we have a double Mythic on the Shinigami Sword, and we also have a nice Legendary on the passive. Ideally, that would also be Mythic, but it's quite hard to roll and it's going to be very expensive. How you actually abuse this, it's very simple. You have to make sure your enemies are going to be in the range of your Dark Mage. Then, of course, I have Auto Upgrade, which is done. One thing you can do, since he is a magical damage, you can place down a Forbidden Teacher, which increases his damage by 30%. And then, if you also have a Megumi, you also place him down, he increases it by even further by another 25%. How you use this is simple. Dark Mage has two passives. One is Magic Cycle, another is going to be Lightning Orbs. The first phase is going to just be a lot of frog control, but once you see he does 8 basic attacks, he switches over to Lightning. The strat here is you actually switch this to none. If you guys switch it to none, he will never attack, which means he should never switch out of the Lightning form. So what we are going to do right now is buff, okay, then let's get rid of him. And now you can see Dark Mage, look. Not even in the range, right? This is the cone, but like I said, it's anything in the circle. Look at how fast he's actually destroying these mobs. It's completely crazy how this unit is one of the only units that can actually get rid of these, what do you even call this? These showcase units. They have 1 million HP each, and he is literally soloing them, no problem. Look at the amount of damage he's actually doing. And as from the beginning of the video, you guys already saw he can actually hit very hard and soloing the Infinite. So what I was doing earlier in the video was the Infinite for the hardest stage, which is going to be King's Tomb. The mobs there are literally no joke. They have a lot of buffs and are very tanky. And yet, he was actually soloing it with just a singular Forbidden Teacher with lacking items. There are literally so many areas where you can actually utilize this guy in. For example, you can come over to the raids, and then you can actually get Kenpachi really easily. He is also very overpowered for this Crow stage, Act number 4 and Act number 3. If you guys were to just solely farm for the Crow Relics and Velon coins, this is how strong he actually is. Which is why if you're macroing, I highly recommend bringing in Forbidden Teacher and then bringing in one more DPS. It could be a Puppet. My Puppet doesn't have Unbound. My Megumi obviously has Unbound, but it's much harder to get for the normal people. So Puppet is a very solid suggestion here. You just put Puppet down here, and also Puppet has reverse time, so they can just keep going backwards. So it's actually not that bad as a substitute, and again, you don't need Unbound on this guy because I don't have Unbound and he can still clear it very easily. Just to demonstrate this guy, look, now he is at Lightning. I have my farms placed over there obviously, and we have it to switch to none. And look at that, the moment they actually spawn, it's literally good night. Now I'm gonna do this full showcase of himself because I really find this super entertaining. And of course, even if you guys are not macroing, feel free to bring a Forbidden Teacher. Just bring in another 30% buff. Look at how fast it actually is. Of course, he is going to be fantastic. I'm going to put Megumi over here. Ideally, we don't allow Megumi to hit the mobs. So, okay, now he was to hit the mobs. But we do have the buff. We'll sell him off. So the buff, there we go. We'll sell Megumi off because this is just a showcase for the Dark Mage himself. And look at that. Even if these mobs keep respawning, it doesn't matter. We're going to just kill them off again. And there you go. Of course, they keep respawning, which is why this is actually longer. It's not because he can't do it fast enough. It's just very frustrating, all of the random mobs. If they don't have dot, they will respawn over and over again. And as you can see, bad RNG, everybody just keeps respawning. And if they respawn, the waves cannot get skipped. Which is why we are actually going way past the time that we actually wanted to. But look at that. Easy clear. Just a solo from the Dark Mage. Make sure you guys subscribe.